September 30th, 1998. It's a day I'll never forget. The cop inside me died that day. And that night, Raccoon City was wiped out, thanks to the bioweapons created by Umbrella. Somehow I made it out, but too many others weren't so lucky. I was asked later to join a top-secret government program. Not that I had a choice. The training, punishing missions, nearly killed me. But at least I kept my mind off everything. If I could just forget what happened that night, the pain, even for a second. This time, it can be different. It has to.
So tell me, Yankee, why did you come to this horrible place? As close to nowhere that I've ever seen.
Let's just say, looking for someone.
That someone must be very important, huh? The chief gave the orders himself. Help him, he said.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to Resident Evil 4 Remake for the PlayStation 5. This will be my attempt at beating the game on professional difficulty, which you can unlock by beating the game on hardcore difficulty. And professional difficulty is the hardest difficulty in the game. When it comes to professional, there will be no autosaves, so you have to save manually. It's a good thing because there's no cap on how many saves you can have like in other remake titles. So you can save as much as you like. The enemies are very, very aggressive.
This is not good.
And quite strong. So, just for me playing this on professional difficulty, I haven't really looked into anything in terms of trophies. Do you get a trophy for beating it on professional? I have no idea. But you don't get nothing special from what I've seen. You still have to meet the same criteria for beating it on hardcore mode to get an S rank. And those criteria are: beat the game within 5 hours and 30 minutes. And pretty much really, that is like the gist of it. As long as you beat the game in 5 hours and 30 minutes, you get an S+ rank. So, in my opinion, so far, I would say don't play it on professional difficulty because professional difficulty is a fucking headache. And it might not be worth it in the end if you can reach the same goal by beating it on hardcore mode. And now with that breakdown out the way, welcome to my professional difficulty video walkthrough of Resident Evil 4 Remake while taking no damage. So yes, this is a no damage run, and this will be very, very difficult on professional difficulty. So if you enjoy the content, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And now, like for that first section you see me play through as I was talking. During that section, you don't have to waste any ammunition on none of those Granado enemies. Do not waste ammo. Try to save your ammo for when you get to the village. You have to run past each enemy. So the first enemy that Leon kicks at the cabin, when he gets downstairs and he's like transformed, aggro him so he can charge at you and run around him, and then go upstairs. And then proceed to the cutscene, and you get outside. Now for this section, you want to run past all 3 of these Granado enemies. Get to this door, they're going to reset to their position, and then we're just going to go back and stealth kill the guy that's inside the cabin. So we can take the red herb, the flash grenade, and the handgun rounds, because we're gonna have to stock up on ammunition for this fight. Now when doing this fight, I've literally exhausted at least 95% of ways to beat that fight, this village fight. I've tried to hide in a tower. I got some success in the tower, but once the chainsaw guy spawns, he doesn't get staggered when climbing up the ladder, and eventually he will get up there towards you, and you will have to fight him, and then you will fall off right on top of all the Granado enemies, and you'll be stuck there. One of them will grab you, and he will try to chainsaw you, so you won't have time. And if you watch my professional difficulty video from the original game, you've seen that during this section I hid in the cabin on the left side of the house. I even tried that, and that won't work because they move too fast and they just gonna bombard you inside that room, and you will not have no time to get out of there, and you will die. I normally go up here on the right up here, but with the enemies aggro and the way their accuracy is when it comes to throwing their hatches and axes, it's just too much. So what I decided to do for this fight is use Resident Evil 4's movement speed, something that they didn't have in the original. So you can free move in this game, you can move how you want to. So I had to use that to my advantage, and we're just gonna have to loop these enemies until the bell sounds, until we get the cutscene where it's all over. But in the meantime, that's during the fight. Preparing for the fight, you want to stealth everybody that you can. You're only going to be able to stealth the 2 Granado women and get the loot that's around. After you stealth the second Granado woman, do not jump through the window, because if you do, there will be a Granado enemy hiding inside the closet in there, and he will break out soon as you jump through that window. So just stealth as much as you can, and then run into the house to start the village fight. And you also want to save your gunpowders here. Do not use them like I'm going to use mine in a sec. You're going to want to save them until you get to 12. You're going to want to save them until you get to 12 gunpowders and 1 resource. So you can get ammunition for your shotgun, because you're going to need those extra 5 bullets for all the enemies here. Okay, as soon as you start, you want to immediately move the shelf to the window to cover it up. Go upstairs after you get all the stuff down here, and go directly for the ladder that's propped up against the window, because they have a tendency to climb the ladder super fast, and they can be up here as soon as you reach the top of the steps. So go for the ladder first, then collect everything else. And then you're just going to grab the grenade, you're going to grab the shotgun, then you're going to go to the back side of the house, wait for people to start coming up. As they come up, deal some damage with the handgun and use the shotgun as well, because they're going to drop either some pesetas, some handgun rounds, or they will drop some resources or gunpowder. And you're going to need that so you can, at this point, save gunpowder so you can make ammunition for a shotgun. And if it get too crowded, use your flash grenade. What I would have done differently, now that I look back on it, is like if I'll jump off when I get too crowded on this roof, and then as the enemies start chasing me around the village, I will use like a flash grenade or like a frag to give me some space so I can get back up here. But what you're gonna see me doing is a little bit of rinse and repeat. So try to mirror me as much as you can. I know it's gonna be tough, trust me, but try to mirror me as much as you can. See, even though that's a cool animation, I probably wouldn't have wasted the flash grenade there. I would try to use it once it get too heavy down here below with all these Granado enemies. So try to test out with that and go from there. But do rinse and repeat as me. Because when you loop around this village and have the enemies in one structured area, they all seem to stay right there. And if you on the other side of the map, there's gonna be more and more enemies spawning. So once they get too overcrowded in the area that you continue to loop in, try to merge over to a new side of the map so you can get more space and loop the enemies in other areas. But always try to get back to this farmhouse because this will be your safe haven.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Condor 1, I've identified a route to the lake. Look for a large windmill. There's a path on the far side of it.
Windmill. Copy that.
And be careful. Roost out.
Now, like I said earlier, since there's no cap on the saves you have to have, use the saves to your advantage. Trust me, because you don't want to save it at one area and have to start all the way over at the beginning of the chapter. So use the typewriters to your advantage. So for this section here, we're going to stealth two enemies, the two enemies that are outside. The third enemy is upstairs in the farmhouse shoveling hay. We're just going to shoot her in the head about 4 times. And then once we do that, we'll spawn the big heavy enemy that wears the pig's mask. Once we spawn him, he's going to chase us upstairs. Then we're going to use the tripwire to blow him up. And then we're going to knife him. Then we're going to shoot him 1 time with the handgun, and that will kill him. Then we're going to deal with 4 more enemies after that. We're going to use the handgun and the shotgun to kill them as they come up the ladder. And we're going to kill some before they even reach the ladder, so we can give ourselves space. But you got to be careful there, because they can come up behind you from the back way and climb through the window and try to get you that way. So make sure you have all 4 enemies in front of you so you can get rid of them quickly with the shotgun and the handgun.
little medallion.
Now this is one area on professional that differs from hardcore. This guy here is an early enemy, so when you play hardcore he won't be here, but on professional he is here. And I'm laying back and waiting for him to spawn down here, because if you don't know he's there, he can pop up behind you and surprise you, and he can deal damage to you. But he's pretty weak, so just wait for him to come back there and spawn that way and get rid of him that way. Deal with the two enemies on the bridge here, and then deal with the Renato woman enemy at the bottom with the pitchfork. Okay, now we're heading for the final stretch of the chapter. At this chapter, my resources were very low. My ammunition was very low. So, through here, do not take your time through here. Once you get the explosion and the bear traps out of the way, push towards the cabin where Lewis is captive at. Shoot the lock and go inside there. Because once you go inside the cabin, they won't chase you into the cabin. They'll stop chasing you. They just throw dynamite. And that's the best strategy I can tell you in this section, because it's heavy amounts of enemies here. 2 different enemies with 2 sets of dynamite. And you don't want to deal with that with the least amount of ammo you have at this point. So if you got a frag grenade like I did, throw it and use it to your advantage. Clear space so you can get to that cabin, shoot the lock, and get inside and get to the next chapter. And that is the best thing I can tell you when it comes to doing this section. I'm pretty sure if you have lots of ammo, you can run through it, but with less ammo, it's best to play it smart and don't take any chances. So, we're coming up on the end of this chapter. We had to deal with this final enemy back here. Don't reach this point and take damage because this enemy can throw his sickle or axe at you, so keep your distance and shooting with the handgun as much as possible. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe down below. I really appreciate if you do that because it helps the content reach other people such as yourselves. And since this is the end, I will see you guys in the next video. Y'all take it easy. I'm out.
That hurts, you know?
Seemed like you really wanted to talk.
How observant, senor. Now, say, you got a smoke?
You know, those things will kill you.
Oh, well, maybe just untie me then, huh? Joder, not this guy!
Who are you? Okay, stop right there!